Hi, my name's Paul O'Regan. I'm 49. I live in Leith in Edinburgh, and this is my Lothian lockdown diary. I'm recording this on the 9th of June, so we're out of the strict lockdown into phase one, and I started my lockdown voluntarily a week early. I started about the 16th of March, just because I looked at the numbers and it was clear that it could potentially be really, really bad. So I just voluntarily started. I got scared basically and started a week early. So I've got some questions here from the site which they suggest that you answer. So I'll do my best. How has your life changed during lockdown? In some ways, not much, because I'm a freelance copywriter. I work from home. I'm single. I live alone. So, you know, on the face of it, not much different. In other ways, very, 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 a big difference is because the little things that I used to use to break up my day, like go to the cafe and have a coffee and do the crossword, couldn't do that the same way. Obviously, can't see my friends or my family, my family, my immediate family all live very nearby, so I'm used to seeing them a lot. So that was a big difference, and it made it hard. And I think to start with, I wasn't coping with it very well at all. I was just so surprised, um, and yeah, kind of in shock and not really accepting the situation. But over time, I've been able to adapt to it and got a bit more used to it. What was a typical day like before lockdown, and what is it like now? Um, well, same answer really. On the face of it, not that different. Practically, not that different. It's just that um, uh, going for a run or a cycle ride, which I would usually do, that might be a little bit shorter. The cycle ride, I would stay closer to my house, and I don't have the little fun things that I used to do just to kind of break up the day, like seeing friends, seeing family, going for coffee, that sort of thing. So practically quite similar, but taking away those little things make it emotionally really a lot different. And that was a hard thing to get used to. What's been the hardest part for you during lockdown? Um, yes, I think for me, if you live alone, then your friends and your family are your main source of social contact. So when that goes, it all goes. Yeah, there's the social media, there's WhatsApp, there's Zoom and stuff, but it's just not the same. So yeah, I would say for me anyway, the social isolation was the hardest thing to get used to, because frankly, Zoom is great, but it's just not the same as meeting someone in person. It's just not. You can't hug someone over Zoom. You can't shake hands with someone over Zoom. So that's a problem. Um, have you learned any new skills or taken up any new hobbies? No. And anyone who has, I salute you. Uh, I had no excuse really. I had plenty of time, although I had been working pretty much as many hours as before. Um, most of my clients stopped temporarily, I hope, but one of them got much, much busier, so that made up the gap. But no, I haven't even made sourdough, let alone learn Italian or take up macrame. Sorry. Have you been working from home? Has it been challenging? Well, yes, I have, but no, not really. It hasn't really been challenging because I'm used to it. Um, but that was a massive advantage, because I remember when I first started working from home in 2016. It takes a bit of time to get used to. There's some little traps you can fall into. Um, like you have to treat it like a job. Basically, you have to treat it as if you're going into an office. Don't wear your pajamas till lunchtime. Don't work in bed. Have a separate place where you work if possible. Even if you can't have a separate room, have a separate part of a room. Yeah, so I'd learned all those things by making all those mistakes in advance. So when the time came for lockdown, I was already quite familiar with how to do it. And I've been very, very lucky that one of my clients, they do home working software, they do thermal cameras which can tell if you've got a temperature. They've been really busy, so they've given me a lot of work. I haven't charged for the extra actually, because all their employees were doing free overtime, working without commission, going on furlough. So I felt it was right for me to make a sort of similar sacrifice too. So I've taken a financial hit, but I've had things to do, which is great, because I think in those early days when I wasn't really coping with it, my alcohol consumption was through the roof. I think if I had been waking up in the morning knowing that I had nothing to do all day, that would have been tough. So I've been very, very, very glad to have my work. Any bright spots about the lockdown? Frankly, no. It's just rubbish. It's just horrible. And you just got to get used to the fact that it's horrible. I suppose the one client that I can have been working with, my relationship with them has strengthened a little bit. And there are some people, not my closest friends, but some people I've met recently perhaps who I've sort of kept in touch with on WhatsApp and things, and I've perhaps got to know them a little bit better. So it's maybe made some of my more distant relationships slightly stronger. But that's diamonds in the dirt, frankly. Basically, lockdown sucks. Although I should say, I'm very aware that it sucks a lot less for me than it does for a lot of people. You know, my flat is pretty small, but some people live in smaller spaces. They've got kids, perhaps you have a partner who's got problems of some kind or is abusive in some way. So, you know, I'm not saying I've got it worse than anyone, far from it. And so I'm glad for my situation, but it's still tough. Who are you in lockdown with and how are they doing? Well, as I've said, no one, apart from myself. And he's doing all right. Not great, but okay. I'm looking forward to phase 2. Although, is it going to be that different? You know, in terms of meeting people, that's the main thing that I care about, is the social aspect, really. So there'll be some shops open. You can sit outside a pub with a friend, I suppose. But at the moment, you can sit in the park. So what's the difference? You still can't hug people or shake hands. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it all being over. So hopefully the science guys will get, and gals will get a vaccine or a treatment or something. And we'll be back to some sort of normal soon. Because, yeah, you can look to the positives and say, I've learned more about myself. But basically, lockdown is rubbish for almost everyone. So, it hasn't been that bad, but I'll be glad when it's over. Okay, hope that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's diaries too. Bye-bye.